Hey, it's Tyson, and I'm super excited to be back because today is our first episode in our new Saturday series where I'll be sharing quick 5-minute episodes with nothing but actionable content. And today we're diving right into our first topic. It's from chaos to clarity, the art of putting things on your calendar. And this is a really good one to start off with because just the other day I was talking to my executive assistant, Elizabeth, and we were talking about the process that she's put together for calendaring and getting things on my calendar. And some of these things I was sort of already doing before, but she's really created this effective process almost from scratch when it comes to getting things on my calendar. And it's an amazing process. She's made massive improvements when it comes to managing my time. And it's really kind of cool because now you don't have to do this if you don't have an executive assistant, but many of us do have assistants. You've got case managers, whatever it may be, people that you're working with on a regular basis. And basically, our process is she gets things on the calendar, which I'm going to talk about some techniques for doing that later. And then every day, what happens is we meet and she asks, okay, you had these things on your calendar for yesterday. Did you accomplish these? Okay, if not, she makes sure that she can move things around. My calendar can it moves a little bit. It doesn't move a lot every single day, but it does sometimes move a little bit if I don't get everything done because sometimes just tasks take longer than what you expected. So she does a really good job of making sure she moves things around. But if you want to get a copy of that process, she actually was so excited about our process, the things that we do, that she put together a presentation and she's going to be teaching the other attorneys and leaders in our firm the same process. It's really cool, and she was really excited about it, and I am too. So, but if you want to get a copy of that though, just shoot me a text. This is something new that I'm doing, so shoot me a text if you want to get a copy. I'll make sure you get a copy of it. But just text me at 314-501-9260. That's 314-501-9260, and you can get a copy of our process. But let's jump right into it when it comes to some actionable takeaways, because I understand that the legal field, it can be hectic. I used to do criminal defense. It's calmed down quite a bit since I only do personal injury, but I remember those days where it's just a whirlwind of deadlines and meetings and court dates and emails and client phone calls. It's just a storm that we're all sort of familiar with. But what if we can navigate through this storm from chaos to clarity? And that's what we're talking about today, because having a clear calendar, it's not just about being neat. It's about productivity. It's about reducing stress, improving focus, and just that overall efficiency. And if you can do that, you're going to be way better off. You're going to actually be able to spend time with your family each night, which I'm sure many of you want to do. You're going to be able to do the fun things in life and not just be grinding at the office all day. And it's really about taking control of your time rather than being controlled by it. And so let's look at some of the ways that we can achieve this control. I'm going to talk about 4 techniques. Trust me, I know that there are more. If you want to text me some more, you text me. But these are the main 4 techniques that I think they come to mind. They're ones that are fairly easy to implement. And so let's talk a little bit about it. First is prioritization. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Eisenhower matrix. It's named after President Eisenhower. It's many people know about it, but really what you do, and you think about a matrix, it helps you categorize your tasks on a daily basis based on their urgency and on their importance. If you kind of look at it, visualize this grid, and you can Google it. It's online. You can easily find it. But I know Jim and I have talked about it before. But you take urgent and important tasks. Those are things that are done immediately. Okay. So let's take the scenario with Elizabeth. Let's say that there's something that comes up that is, it's important and it's urgent. Okay. Those are few and far between, by the way. Okay. But those do happen. She modifies my calendar to make sure it fits in. And you could do the same thing with yours, right? You can move things around once you get it on your calendar. But she moves things around. So urgent, important tasks, those are done immediately. Okay. Important but not urgent tasks are scheduled. Okay. Those are scheduled for a later date. Okay. And that's what the importance of meeting on a regular basis with your team is really, really important. That way you can figure out the items that are important, and that way they don't become urgent. Because if you don't get them on the calendar, they become urgent items because you forgot about them. Okay. Like think about statute of limitations. You don't want that to be an important and an urgent matter. You want to make sure that that's scheduled out so you're not having to deal with it. It doesn't become urgent. All right. Urgent but not important tasks, those are delegated. Okay. So those are things that not super important, but but they are urgent. You can delegate those to someone and have those take care of them for you. And neither urgent nor important tasks, those are eliminated. You just get rid of those. Okay. That's why I definitely recommend you sit down, especially early on in starting your firm, map out your day and what are you doing, and then get rid of the things that you shouldn't be doing. Okay. All right. So second, and I'm going to be talking about time blocking in an episode all by itself. Okay. So there's going to be a 5-minute episode just on time blocking. And so I'm not going to go into full detail about time blocking, but this is a technique that it's about breaking your day into chunks of dedicated time for specific tasks. And that's something that Elizabeth does a really good job of for me, where she blocks out my time. She makes sure she gives me enough time for each one of these tasks. Always overestimate the time you're going to need for it, because things happen, and many times things take way longer than you think that they're going to take. So here's an example. What you can do is you can block out from like 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can do that for client meetings. I know some people, they'll block out entire days for client meetings and they won't do client meetings for the rest of the week. Whatever works for your schedule. Okay. And then something else you could do is maybe from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., you can book that for case preparation. Make sure you fit in a lunch. Maybe you do lunch at 1 o'clock, or whatever works for your schedule. If you need to take lunch at noon, think about those things too. So you're really thinking through your schedule. All right. But by assigning these specific time slots for these tasks, you can then maintain your focus and limit those distractions, especially if you're sharing your calendar with the rest of your firm. It's a really easy way. People know, okay, for example, I'm looking at a time block on my calendar now where I've got a meeting with just me and our CTO Kashif it's from 9 a.m. to 1:35 tomorrow. Right. So people know, okay, I'm going to be in that meeting and I'm going to be focused only on that tomorrow. And so it's a good way to communicate that to your team as well without actually having to make an announcement. Kind of nice. All right. So the third technique is, I know you've heard me talk about this before. We use it a lot in the guild. It's the one thing principle. Okay. So you pick one major task each day or week and you make it your primary focus. Okay. And we talked about in the guild, all right, what's the one on Mondays, right? So what's the one thing each week that's going to move your firm forward the most? Okay. And it's a really effective technique because, it allows you to move the ball forward in accomplishing and achieving your vision. So you take that one major task each day or week and you make it your primary focus, and you eat that frog. You do that thing first. And it's not about tackling every task at once. It's about dedicating your energy to a significant task that will make a real difference. Okay. And all right. And the last one, because I know we're going to go a little bit long on this one, but I hope you won't mind. But lastly, don't forget the power of technology. There's a lot of tools like Google Calendar, Asana, Todoist, many other apps that can help you manage your schedule with reminders and alerts or any other items that make it easy, make it easily viewable for you. So you have a nice overview of your week. And they're often accessible from any device, and that means you can stay organized. You don't really have any excuses. I will tell you something. There's a really cool feature that's in Google that really helps me, where if you color code your time blocks, I can look at my calendar now and I've got a pretty good idea what I need to be doing this week based upon my color coding system. And we do share that color coding system in that process. So make sure you do text me, because you can see our color coding system. But it does allow me, I can look, if I see a bunch of purple, I know that's Max Law stuff. If I see a bunch of red, I know that's litigation stuff. So it does allow you to get a better grasp of your calendar just by quickly glancing at it. So don't forget that power of technology. It's a very powerful thing. And just another thing I'll say is I do recommend also A World Without Email. It's by Cal Newport. Read that book. Really powerful book. It'll allow you to sort of think through how to manage your time a little bit better as well. But the real magic, though, it starts to happen when you start to implement these techniques. So don't just listen and not take action. Make sure you take action. But remember to start small, apply one technique at a time, and see how it works for you, because not all of them will work for you. Okay. These are the ones that work for me, but I think that if even if you take one of these techniques and apply it, I think it'll be very beneficial for you. Okay. And Let me tell you, there have been many law firms that Jim and I have talked to over the years. They moved from that chaos to that clarity state where they're using these techniques and these techniques only. They're effective. Okay. And when they do that, they witness not only that increased productivity, but also that improved client satisfaction, that lower stress. They see growth in their firm. Okay. So just to sum it up, the things we talked about were prioritizing using the Eisenhower matrix, blocking out your time, focusing on that one key task each day and each week, and then leveraging technology to manage your schedule. All right. So next week, we're going to be tackling another crucial topic. So make sure you join us. We're going to be talking about team huddles and how to do team huddles best. And so I think you're going to get a lot out of that one. Remember, taking imperfect action is better than taking no action at all. So start today. Take that first step to bring clarity into your workday. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. And until next Saturday, here's to a future of clarity, control, and ultimate success for your law firm.